What's good, Buffs Nation? It's been a quiet couple of weeks here in Boulder, Colorado, but I'll tell you this weekend, massive recruiting weekend, and a lot of news coming down the line, not only from that, but over the last week that we've got to dive into. Top recruit stopped in town, and it looks like Boulder and Coach Prime and the staff may have made an impression. We got to talk about that a little bit later. We're also going to dive into one story that really weird to me. It feels like the attacks on Coach Prime and what Colorado's doing keep coming. And this one article came out saying that the Buffs were forcing players to show up to a concert. Somebody refuted that. We'll dive into that portion of it. And lastly, the great Phil Steele, who builds the book that comes out every year, that's basically the college football Bible. He's got some rankings, and there's a few first team picks for the Buffs that we've got to be excited about going into the season. So let's dive into all of that here on the prime time of college football. First story that we got to dive into is this weird one, right? So Colorado, there was an article that came out. I saw it on College Football Reddit, and it said this here on the screen, that the Wayne concert was the final straw for a few players who hit the transfer portal. A source said, when Coach Prime told us we all had to be there to support Shadur as a rapper, they were not happy at all. To be honest, it was nothing but a huge distraction. Daddy ball was being played. That's crazy to me. That someone anonymously said that they're playing daddy ball. And then, of course, right afterwards, the governor for Colorado Buffs, he came out and made a comment, Camden Dempsey. And he said this: y'all can say this is 100% false. We were never forced to go to this concert. We are a team that support all of our players, but this is crazy. You might want to find better sources. And this came from like an Athlon Sports article. And of course, he called them out for it. And it is funny because we've talked about that here on the channel numerous times, that the media is leveraging Coach Prime because he is definitely so polarizing that a story that's written about them in a negative light will always lead to clicks. So, of course, here we've got to talk about it a little bit just so y'all know. I mean, some of y'all probably seen this, some of y'all hadn't. It's one of those reminders that obviously Coach Prime is doing something right. He's doing something right because people are attacking him in the negative as well as the positive. You're seeing the positive and you're seeing the negative. And once those negatives start to come in there, tells you you're doing something right. And Coach Prime he's trying to build a program, trying to build something that's a bunch of winners. He's trying to build something sustainable long term. So we're not going to trip on it. I just thought that was a very interesting story to really talk about. But let's dive into some of the good stuff, right? This weekend, Colorado's hosting some recruits. They've got a few players in town. You've got Juju Lewis, the 5-star quarterback, number 10 player in the nation based upon On3's consensus. You've also got Quinnell Farrakhan Jr., wide receiver out of Spring, Texas. He's a 4-star, top 300 player. And then Chauncey Gooden, who's an interior offensive lineman, top 320 player in the country. All in town, visiting, checking out Colorado, seeing what they're talking about, right? Well, Juju seems to be enjoying himself. And this is the one thing that got your boy excited. When I saw this, I'm like, oh, okay. This is what we're seeing. So Juju posted this on social media, posted this actually on his X account, Xbird, whatever you want to call it. And he put it in there, could this be perfect timing? As you see Shadur and him looking up and down at each other, basically saying that Shadur's leaving after this coming season. Juju can walk in the door and he could be the man, right? And the way that this star-studded staff has been put together is a great opportunity for Juju to walk in, be the starting quarterback, and make the magic happen. Colorado's gotten him. This is the second time he's been here in the last month, right? He came in May, he's here now, and it looks like Colorado is really making an impression because he keeps returning, right? Most kids don't go to places multiple times if they ain't got some sort of interest. I think Colorado's really working their butts off to try to close him and bring him in. So much so that the best part about what Boulder's doing, the entire community is working on being a part of this recruiting process, right? The entire community decided that, we got to find a way to get Juju out here for us. And so one of the local restaurants called The Sink dropped themselves a burger in his name, the Juju Precision Pass burger, only found at The Sink. Please go buy said burger. Please go support local Boulder institutions. Why? Because they're showing support to your Buffs. And that's what you need. They're showing support to Coach Prime. They're showing support to Colorado. Y'all need to go out there and support them. That's dope. Now, I've seen on social medias people saying, oh, that's so desperate. I mean, you want a 5-star quarterback. Why not show that you love and show your excitement about him potentially going there? I mean, this is dope to me. I wish more schools do stuff like this, which actually other schools do it, but you don't hear about it as much. Why? Because they ain't Colorado. They ain't Coach Prime. They're not polarizing. So yes, this is definitely one that you would see here because that's something that Colorado does. So, but besides that, Colorado has shown and been pretty impressive when it came to these visits. And it appears that these recruits are digging what Colorado's selling. Now, we've talked about this in the past. It doesn't feel like Colorado's very heavily in the high school recruiting side because it seems like the transfers come in with more experience. Colorado's testing those waters. It's not a proven science yet, but it is one of those that in time could show us could be successful or not. I mean, Lane Kiffin's doing the same thing at Ole Miss. If Colorado and Coach Prime can make that a success, I don't see why that would be a problem. So Colorado's, of course, doing this. They're testing the waters, seeing if they can make this happen. But I'm here to tell you now, if Colorado can land Julian Lewis, this 5-star quarterback, snatch him up from USC, yeah, we're going to be cooking with some grease. So at that point, you've got to keep your eyes open for what the Buffs are trying to do. All right, we're going to wrap things up, put a little bit of a bow on it. Let's talk about Phil Steele. Now, I've been keeping up with Phil Steele for years, right? The Bible he puts out is one of those things I read every time it comes out. I've got my package actually over here. It's in the wrapper, but I've been reading the digital version. The digital version comes out about a week before the actual main version. But Phil Steele, he's been pretty spot on with a lot of his predictions, right? And he's got Colorado in some favorable spots. We'll jump into that in another video. But I wanted to talk about some of his predictions, right? First off, he's got his first team all Big 12, first team All American team, right? He's got Travis Hunter as well as LeJontay Wester as his first teamers on there, right? And even outside of that, and then you see Phil Steele's preseason team, first teamers, of course, Travis and LeJontay, and Shedeur Sanders is on there as a second teamer. He's usually pretty spot on with his predictions. He's one of those people that you have to understand what he's doing, right? Dig into it, look at what he's telling you, but Phil Steele will be good, right? So your first teamers, Travis Hunter, second teamer, Shedeur Sanders, as well as LeJontay Wester. You got Deion Hayes, the transfer from Pitt, came through. He's considered a third team. He's second teamer. I'm sorry. Shiloh Sanders is a third teamer. Him and BJ Green, which BJ Green came from Arizona State. You know, he's a walk-on, and he came in and started to play. And then Mark Vasic on the special team side is a fourth teamer. But I think this is huge, right? Like LeJontay being first team on special team, second team on offense, him and Shedeur for his preseason team. You cannot beat that. And we've been seeing the predictions come down the line over the last few days that people think Shedeur, a lot of scouts have been giving Shedeur a lot of props. Like they've been giving him a lot of love. They've been pointing out his ability to pass, his precision, and they think that he's going to be something special going towards the league. They feel like he's one of those players that, yeah, he going to do something. And so I'm keeping my eyes open for any more predictions and what other articles are coming down the line. A lot of them are being produced now. We're prepping. We're roughly 69 days, 68 days away from the season and kickoff. I know y'all are excited. I am. So Boulder, hop in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. How you think about those rankings? You think that the Buffs are in a good spot? You think that Shedeur should be first team? I kind of thought that he was going to end up on somebody's first team, but I'm not surprised by second team. Where do y'all think he should be ranked? All right, we had put out a video not too long ago talking about a former Buff telling us the truth that he felt about Colorado, and you may want to hear it. I think it's good stuff. So I'd say y'all check that out and make sure you subscribe. And we will talk more often because things are starting to pop up.